Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the Shahed-136 Iranian drone. Please remember to like and subscribe. Alright, let's get right into it. Fact 1. A pusher engine. The Shahed-136 is a very interesting drone is that it uses a push configuration where the propeller is behind the drone and use it to push the aircraft forward. It is opposite of the typical airplanes where the propellers is in the front. However, Shahed-136 is not the only drone that uses it. If you take a look at other drones, for example the MQ Reaper, they have the propeller in the back. But as I mentioned, most airplanes and aircrafts have the propeller in the front and is not in a push configuration. The Shahed-136 is different from a traditional aircraft, and rightfully so. The drone requires a rocket launch assist and doesn't take off on its own power. And if you take a look, it actually doesn't have any gears because it is a kamikaze drone, which you'll get into the next section. And so I think with the pusher configuration, if it is cheaper and easier to maintain, by all means they should use this kind of propellers. Now let's get into the next fact. Fact 2. Suicide drone. As I mentioned in the previous section, the Shahed-136 is a suicide drone. It is not meant to be flown around and then recovered. It's supposed to fly toward the enemy target and use both the kinetic energy and the warhead that's packed in the front to destroy the target. These type of drones are sometimes called loitering munitions. And what they do is they can fly toward a target area. They don't necessarily have to immediately run toward the target and take it out. They could loiter a little bit. They could fly around until the right time and then swoop down and destroy the target. And then the interesting part of the Shahed drone is that it is typically used in a swarm manner. A swarm manner means that they don't fire just one of these drones and go take out a single target. The operators usually take out multiple of these drones and fly them all at the same time to overwhelm the enemy and cause a great deal of damage. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 3. Not 100% Iranian. Despite the fact that the Shahed-136 is very clearly explicitly an Iranian drone, most of the components is not actually from Iran. Many of these drones have been shot down in the Ukraine-Russian conflict, and people have discovered that a lot of the sensors, integrated circuits, and various components are simply commercial off the shelf. For example, one Canadian company was accused of supplying the Iranians with the drone parts when in fact they're just commercial vendors for antennas. Other sensors and integrated circuits are also being accused of aiding and contributing to the Iranian drone industry. But when in reality, the Iranian military contractor that builds these drones probably just sourced the parts whenever they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they use like something such as Alibaba or AliExpress to secure the components. Because the drone itself, a lot of it is not anything out of the ordinary. There's nothing proprietary. It's simply motors for the drone to operate and a bunch of sensors and antennas so they could communicate. And so I think it's incredible that in this globalized age, people are accusing drone makers of sourcing parts from supposedly countries that don't make drones or are not condoning the drone attacks. Great, let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. Long range. The Shahed-136 is an extremely long-range aircraft. After its launch, it could fly a range of 2,500 kilometers. It could even carry a 36 kilogram warhead guided by GPS towards target. The total weight of the drone is about 200 kilograms. The drone likely is fully battery operated because it doesn't look like there's any place for fuel. And so it is likely a battery-operated drone with an electric motor engine, simply pushing the aircraft forward, and then they use GPS guidance to make sure the drone hits the right target. That incredibly long range is probably made possible by satellite communication systems, because typical radio controlled drones cannot exceed that kind of distance. So I think the Shahed-136, although looking rudimentary, is quite effective and achieves its objective without too much fluff. If you think about it, a good loitering drone means that the operator could be miles away, thousands of kilometers away, and launch it and be able to destroy a target all without risking any lives or health and safety. And the drone operators could simply sit in a safety zone and launch massive attacks. Alright, let's get into the next and final fact. 20 to 60,000 US dollars each. The Shahed-136 is an incredibly value conscious drone. Typical drones that you see from this kind of capability and range is likely in the hundreds or millions of dollar range. But the Iranians are able to make it under $60,000. Part of the reason why the Iranian Shahed-136 is so economically effective is because of the previous sections that we just talked about. It uses commercial off-the-shelf components. It does not require the Iranian military or the military contractor to create something novel that will take a lot of research and development and man hours. They simply took what is out there in the market and applied it to making this drone. And when you use the free market, competition causes prices of certain components to go down, and thereby making a very cheap and effective drone. Alright, that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.